Hi, this is Pastor Jackson with the Empowerment Broadcast. Thank you for joining us tonight on our broadcast. We have a great show for you tonight. Empowerment Broadcast is always designed to increase us and to empower us as people so now we can be more knowledgeable and more focused on our future, and therefore that we can understand who we are. So we just thank God tonight for the broadcast. And it's to empower us to be more believers, to understand our assignments and what God has asked us to do while we yet walk on this earth. So I pray that you had a great day. I pray you had a great week, and I pray that you have experienced some things that your life has been bigger and been better. You should never be stagnated. You should never be in the same position you were in this time last year. We should be forever increasing and making ourselves bigger and making ourselves better. Do me a favor. Go ahead and share this video. Go to your visit our Facebook page and also on YouTube. Share this video with other people. If you're not a subscriber on our YouTube channel, please go to our YouTube page and be a subscriber. And also hit the notification button so that when we post new videos that you're notified of that. Tonight broadcast is designed for you. If you are in finances, if you're trying to learn a business, if you're trying to understand how all that works together, this broadcast is designed for you. So go ahead and call your friends and neighbors so that we can have a great broadcast so they can learn some things when it comes to the business side. How do I get started? What's in it for me? How do I navigate through that? So tonight broadcast is designed to help us to learn, to create wealth, to have generational things happen in our life. And so we tonight are going to learn something tonight. So tonight I got four great guys, four great men that's going to come on tonight and give us some wisdom, give us some understanding about money, all kind of stuff. So this is going to be a very exciting night. So without further ado, I want to welcome my guests to the show tonight. Brothers, man, welcome to the show tonight. Welcome, my friends. Hello, how you doing tonight?
Pretty good. How you doing?
We're doing great. So Todd, you there are an attorney, so come on and talk to us about who you are, man.
Yeah, I'm Todd Johnson. I'm from Monroe, of course, but I live in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I practice personal injury law and business law. And it's a wonderful, and it's glad, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Wow, great. How about you, Marcus? How you doing tonight, sir?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. Marcus Turner. I'm also from Monroe, Louisiana. I've been in business since 2000, Eagle Eye Janitorial Service / Courier Service, LLC. And I'm here to manifest the seed to get us going.
Wow. Larry, how you doing, sir?
All right, Pastor. I'm Larry Jackson. I'm from Monroe, Louisiana. I live in Waldorf, Maryland. I'm a small business owner, federal contractor. I try to work different aspects of businesses. The better I say is we seek it ourselves, and we would do better as a business owner versus employed.
Okay.
And that's been out there for a while. I think we as Black people doesn't take advantage of that. But I'm here to share whatever knowledge I can to guide us all in that direction.
Okay, great. And last but certainly not least, my friend Joseph. How you doing, man?
Doing fine, Pastor. I'm Dr. Joseph Stroud here in Dallas, Texas. Born and raised in Monroe, Louisiana. Graduated from Carroll High School class in 1984 with my three brothers. Grew up in the Booker T community. Retired Air Force, joined the military, went to school. Eventually got a PhD in finance. Currently employed with Fidelity Investments, one of the planning consultants. I also teach at Northwood University in finance and business for the MBA program, the undergrad program. I'm just happy to be here with you personally because I've been knowing you all my life, and
wow.
all three of these other gentlemen who I've been knowing all my life practically also. So it's an honor to be here.
Oh, thank you all for it, man. I feel like I had just a greatness of wealth and knowledge, man. You guys make me a little nervous. Oh my goodness, I got an attorney, finance guy, but hey, thank you all for being with us tonight on the broadcast. And because if we don't get started, time gonna run away. So you all are here, man, to help us. And you four have come together and developed and trying to start a business, right? It's a business, it's an adventure. So I'm gonna start with Todd. Todd, how did all this come about, man? About what you all are trying to do?
Well, we was at a homecoming Carroll High School, famous homecoming. You know how that is. A whole bunch of people. Southern and Grambling don't have anything, you know, to compare to us. So we were just talking, and Dr. Stroud was talking about how much money he handled for different people. And I was like, man, we got enough brain power here that we can figure this thing out, man, and we can do it for ourselves. So that's how it started. And so once that seed got put out there, it just manifested from there.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So you all now has named the group, which is very unique. Because when I was talking to Joseph earlier, he sent me the name of the group. I said, okay, so what does this acronym mean? So Joseph, help us out, man. What does that acronym mean that you have for the business?
Well, the BT84 Group is actually stands for Booker T Class 84. We grew up in the Booker T community, all four of us. I've been knowing Todd since we was in our mom's wombs. He's my very first friend ever that wasn't related to me. Met Larry like in elementary, ran the markets around the junior high school area. It was just unique, as Todd mentioned. We was at a homecoming last year, and we just decided, you know, once the conversation started, I just looked at all of us. I said, time out. We have a lawyer, we got somebody in operation, we got somebody in IT. I know a little bit about finance, okay? I just felt strong, as Todd mentioned, that we put our brain power and our biggest business acumen together, that we'll be able to form something great. Something's not about us making money. That's not what this is all about. Our main focus on three things: generation wealth for our grandkids. That's one of the priorities. We want to employ people, give them opportunity to advance themselves, and make them entrepreneurs if they decide to go that route. But the main thing we want to do is give back to the community. All four of us stated early on, if we can't do those three things, we shouldn't do this. So that's the nature of it. We represent Booker T, the Class 84, just Carroll High School, not our whole neighborhood. That's who we represent. And it's just amazing how the four of us have grown over the last 35 years to what we used to be to where we are now. And we just a shining example of that aspect of it.
Wow, that's great, man. That's great. That's great. So it's very interesting, man, that all four of you are from the Booker T area, Carroll High School, and you know that's my alma mater. You know, from the same place. So you all was in what 84 class. I'm in 83 class. It's amazing how all this come back together. You know, just grateful for you know being able to share that Booker T experience, man. If you're not from the Booker T community, you have no idea. But just thank God for the Booker T community, you know. But we're just grateful. So Marcus, let me see if I can shoot this to you. So why you feel it's so important, man, to give back and to help someone else now that you have the opportunity to do that?
You know, I had a dream back in 1980. I was in the 9th grade at Carroll High School. And at that time, my best friend was Gerald Broadway. And I literally told him in that dream that by 40, I would have everything I had at 40. So I felt that our class was special. We had something dialed, and we were already manifested to be great. So individually, we all took off doing our own thing. But we sort of came together, like they said earlier, last year. And the seed actually was planted the year earlier. We all got together, but we didn't get together and put this together the right way. So last year we sort of got together and we put it together. And I think God showed me myself personally that joining my blood from my hometown would really help us sow the seed to give back to our community in Booker T. That's where we grew up at. And that's why I want to give back too. So this was the best move ever to manifest as far as operating is concerned. I like to help small people, small business. So a lot of Black and brown business don't even know the basics of starting it, let alone get the money or the funding to make it work. So I feel like as far as, you know, getting your tax ID and getting your registration and getting your X, Y, and Z in order before you even start is something that most of us don't even have access to. So to piggyback on what Larry was saying, if we all put our heads together, man, we better help thousands of other people. That's what I'm looking at doing, along with my own 4-year-old son and every other one around. I would like to have that wealth and that putback to help other people. So I love all three of these guys, and I can, like I said, I can go back to 1980, and I felt this in 1980. So right now, the seed is being cultivated, and we're fixing to plant this thing and see if we can't come out 6 months from now tilling our crop.
Great, man, great. Because because what you guys are doing, man, it's not just for yourself. You know, it's looking back, you know, for generations, for years and years to come. You know, so Larry, you know, I got some information from Joseph, and when is your guys' launch date, or has it already started yet, or is it in the process, or how close is it to really forming the BT84 group?
Well, everything is already formed. We're still in the processes of doing some preliminary things. We have a launch date in April, Joseph. What?
April 1st.
April 1st. So once we hit the ground April 1st, we won't be, you know, looking to get started. We will be up and moving. So everything we're doing right now up until that point is getting us to that point to start moving.
Okay, great. So you all are going to be able to acquire other businesses, or if someone wants to start a business, they can find you all, or what direction are you guys going?
Basically, what we actually sat down and we decided to form this group that based on our objective, we actually want to develop, build our own businesses and acquire others. Okay. In fact, we actually got into the CBD business for a minute. Had a building about to sign a lease, COVID hit. So that really canceled that out. We gave us an opportunity just to back up a little bit to see what we can do going forward, and found this opportunity where we are able, starting April the 1st, to finance any company or any individual needs capital, either personal capital for a business, anywhere from $500 to $500 million. We'll be able to actually get access to those type of resources going forward, and we can have a more diversified brokerage service lending group where we can get you that money either in cash, stocks, bonds, or a combination of both. Okay, so it's a unique opportunity to launch what we want to start out first, and then we have a business plan already set up to get into transportation, start our own venture capital company. Also looking at some things like giving back to the community, open up some type of trade school, trying to start some type of program in Booker T, where we can help these kids get certified through these IT programs like Microsoft and Oracle. That's one thing Larry been talking about for the last 8 years, that he wanted head that. So it's just an opportunity where we can use each one of ourselves capabilities and value. Todd mentioned I'm the money man. I was able to get together with these guys and come up with these concepts, and we just ready to step forward. We can't wait to April the 1st to start so we can get everything going.
Wow, so it's not like it's just a fly-by-night operation, something that just a little dream in your head, but you all has actually put stuff in place, you know, so as April 1st approaches, you got things already set in motion and just waiting for that launch date, and then people now can come to you all and you can finance them, you can guide them. So is there training involved as well? You know, so let's say a person has a business idea, they come to you all, you can finance them and get them started. Is there training as well that goes along with that?
That's what we're in the process of now, is getting some training. From my standpoint, I'm an operational guy. So if Joseph gets a guy that needs 50,000 but doesn't know what to do, how to do, where to start, I've been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
So my operational background is going to help me. What I want to do is train these guys on the aspects of what you need to do leading up to getting taxpayer money or getting the operation going. A lot of guys have the idea, they don't have the money, and nobody showed them anything, but they have it. They know what they need to do. They just need someone to hold their hand. And for for some reason, that falls real short with us when it comes to helping one another. And I want to open up that avenue where any young black or brown can walk to me, or even a young white one that doesn't have it, and ask for assistance. And I will literally hold hands and walk them through the process, especially if we've already lended money or helped them finance or get started in whatever avenue they want to start in. The operation part is key. It won't work unless they know how to operate in a good way. So from the training standpoint, once everything goes into effect in April, that's something I want to be hands-on with as far as the operational experience, and it's especially getting these guys off the streets in Booker T, particularly off the corners, off bicycles if we can. And if we grab one out of 100, man, that one will go a long way, because
Yes.
I was one of those 1 out of 100.
Yes,
And,
yes,
you know, and it worked for me just to believe and stay with the right group of people. So I think Mr. Almond did a great job with us at Carroll. I mean, when I look back at it, Mr. Almond, Coach Gray, they did a great job with us. Mr. Rush,
yeah,
I can name a few that, you know, I think of them right now, and I go back and I realize this is our chance to give back and fill our pocketbook at the same time for our future.
mm-hmm.
So this is where I am. I'm gonna do it with 110% gusto. That's just how it works.
Right.
I'm gonna piggyback for a second on that. I'm gonna tell you the day I knew this was gonna work. When we was actually looking at a CBD store, me and Marcus went to the location, and we up there doing the finance. You know, I'm doing all this PhD finance stuff. Marcus doing this Carroll High School consumer math stuff. And we came up with the same number. We looked at each other, I said, man.
Consumer math is powerful. Powerful for 84.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess, Todd, you kind of bring in the legal side of it, huh?
Get the structures and everything going up. Like when we started, we were trying to figure out a name. We couldn't figure out what it was. And Joseph came up with Booker T84. And then I was like, man, that's a kind of long name. Let's just abbreviate it and call it BT84. And everybody liked that, you know, so that was good. So getting the name situated, you know, I had to do the partnership agreement, you know, because we had to have legal protection for each other, you know, and also be able to have a succession plan. So if one of us die, it passes down to our kids. So I wanted to make sure that was all in place. You know, then we had to, you know, register with the state of Texas, you know, and then we had to do a tax ID number. So all of those things we had to do to, you know, become a legal entity. And so that's where I come in at. So if someone comes in and need help with that, I'll be able to help them and guide them in the right direction.
Wow. So when you four came together and started talking about it, was it a passion that you all four had, or you kind of just say, you know, I want to kind of give back to the community, and then you overheard this person, then you guys got together because you've been knowing each other for a long time, right? So did it just start one day, or just kind of how did it all formulate together?
I don't think it started one day. This been something I think been burning in us since we left.
Yeah.
We've been fortunately, even though we all went our own respective way, we kind of traveled the same path, you know, from school into college, into the military, come out the military and start building ourselves up, you know. So that experience alone opened our eyes up to many things. You know, once you get away and you look back where we come from.
Right.
And right now, you know, it's not to put it down, but it's in a disrepair place. And we have young people down there, not just any people, we have family as well that's there. And if we can show them a way without making it something uncomfortable for them, then we're able to do that. You know, the thing is, a lot of people feel they don't have the opportunity.
Okay.
You know, some of even right now with certain things in their background may feel that this prevent them from able to own a business, you know, which we know that's not true, you know. So if we can show them that way, then I think people is be a lot more engaged in their community if they can produce something and give back to their community. And by giving them that opportunity, and it's not like they got to go and get a big grand venture, a big grand business. You know, it could be something simple. Somebody might want to open up a detail shop down there. You know, somebody might want to open up a tie store or something like that. But it's ways to approach this. You just can't say, I'm going to do it. You know, if you're trying to get distributors and things like that, then it's ways to get there. But it goes back to what Marcus was saying at the beginning. And Todd, you got to be able to set up your company first, put it in and be able to do that. It's process to it. Everybody want to learn things overnight or get it overnight. But if you take your time to learn the process, it'll be that much easier to manage. And I think that we can step in place to guide those people through that. Me being a small business owner by myself, and not just small business owner, federal contractor. You know, I do IT solutions for the federal government. You know, not only do that, I vend them with the VA Medical Center. You know, we do contracts. So it's another thing we can show them, not just in the private sector, but also in the federal sector. That there are opportunities that's out there, especially if there are veterans involved. It's so much available to them. We have used it, and we want to share that knowledge how we got it, so they can get it and become better off themselves.
Great.
I want to piggyback on what Larry just mentioned a second. I always tell people, and it really is true, the talent's always been there. Okay, my 4 years at Carroll, I've known people that left Booker T done real well. For example, Linda Murray, she has a PhD, doctorate in healthcare administration. Occupational studies with Gerald Broadway. Ethel Pugh has his own nonprofit organization where he's helping the veterans and homeless people. I mean, there is Cassandra Sheldon has a PhD in education. I can go on and on. Sonia Jordan has a paralegal business. Then her brother, actually later on, John Coleman, has his own auto company right there in West Monroe. Okay, so the talent's already there. It's just was time that we, not only us, but any African American community or brown community that has been into in a situation where they've been together for 4 years. It's always been there. We was just never, most people never was aware of it. But the four of us always knew that what we was doing. It was just great to actually merge and actually bring it to the forefront to help people meet their destination going forward.
We'll wait.
and to Joe's point, it's just exposure. You know, they don't believe that they can do it, you know, because they don't see it. You know, so if they can see us, look just like them, came from the same place they came from, then they can understand that it can be done.
Right.
That's amazing. So is it a certain group of people you're trying to target, or is it just open to anybody? You're trying to get the young crowd, you're trying to get the young people to kind of shape their minds different, you know, so they don't have to, because everybody's not going to be the sport athlete in school. Everybody's not going to the NFL. Everybody's not going to the NBA. Everybody's not going to go to college. Everybody's not going to go to the military. So, but there is ways, from what you are saying, there are ways that you can have a great career and make a lot of money at it ethically, and then give back to the community. So is there a certain group that you're targeting? I know it may be open to everybody, but is there a certain group that you're trying to find and target?
I had a mindset for the last 5 or 6 years is that I think for Black and Brown, period, I mean, I think we need to start with, remember when we used to have a technical trade where we got the guys where they didn't have anything else to do, and you taught them bricklaying, how to strip and wax floors, it's things that most people don't want to do. But if you start with the basic and you lead off of that, most people learn from that. I literally learned from the ground up on every aspect of what I was doing. Another older man taught me everything I know right now. So I just think that teenage, once they hit that 13 to 18, they need to be put into a mindset of how to acquire So you got to learn how to do something in order to, if you're going to have your own business, if you're going to have your own anything, you got to learn how to do it. So I'm looking at that all the way up to that teenager, then from that teenager to that 25, they pretty much in the same boat. So we could literally go to Booker T, where we all grew up right now, and I could literally go down on the corner of Powell Street, anywhere around that area, and before that day's over, we're going to have 15, 20 teenagers with absolutely nothing to do. So, I look at it on a grand scale, and in Booker T, I just think we start with that group. As far as I'm concerned, as far as teaching something, we'll go a long way. It really would go a long way, because that's the group that really needs it the most. We got guys our age that's still riding on bicycles, but can they be reached? That's like, to me, a waste of time. I'd rather reach a group that we can reach. Financially, I know it's a little older group, but as far as teaching the trade and operational skill to get to finance, I think that needs to be done as well as important. So I'm probably going to commit some time in between now and April to write down, getting me some concrete plans and some things I can institute with that age group to help us out.
Wow, that's great. And you talked about earlier as well about creating a school there in the Booker T community. Is that something as well that's on the horizon for 2021, or is that down the road a piece, or where you guys feel that that's going to come into play at?
That would be down the road. It is nothing immediate because we're just launching. And that was one of my suggestions about starting a charter school in the area. And we could focus on the STEM aspect of different projects, science, technology, engineering, and math, that we can be able to try to offer to the youth in that area. And we also have to look at another aspect that's out there. We have an older demographic, who can't afford, go to school and things of that nature, that we may be able to build some opportunity for them as well, that we can get them in there and help them set themselves in a position to be successful. All this is different aspects of what we plan to do, but we also have the business side of it, where we're out here supporting businesses, building businesses up, giving them the financing they need to start their business, to start a project, if they want to lease equipment, things of that nature like that. So it's kind of like a broad spectrum of what we have to offer, but we definitely want to focus to get to the point where we are able to give back to the community from which we came.
Okay, that's great. And so it's important. Then why is it so important then for us to create generational wealth? Why is that? Because I think I read that somewhere in information that you want to create generational wealth. Why is that so important?
It's very important because a lot of African American brown people do not understand the concept of how that works. So let's be honest, we was never taught anything about investing or saving growing up. Okay, because our parents didn't have access to those resources. Historically, 401k plans wasn't offered back in the days. They didn't come around to like the mid 90s. Okay, so if you own a stock in Walmart or Sears or J.C. Penney, you was considered rich. Okay, because no one really owned the stock. But times have changed, and there's a lot of people that works in corporate jobs like I do, or have their own business like Todd, Larry, and Marcus, but they still do not know how to accumulate wealth. It always start with your budget and savings. From there, setting up some money for retirement, 401k or some type of small business plan for yourself. And the rest of this money, you can just use that, I call play money. Most of our people, when we use our play money, we go out to eat, we go to the club, we like to drink, we like to party, we like to have a good time. Wealthy people take that same money that we play with and educate themselves about the stock market and start buying stocks and bonds and educating themselves that way. So it's a mindset that we're trying to reinvent. And to be honest with you, since Greg Lloyd passed away, that's actually been a calling over the last 6 or 7 months about Black entrepreneurship, Black communities getting together and being able to
Hey, look,
develop well. Because, hey, once you retire, you got to be able to live the same lifestyle that you're living right now. It's just great to pass that on to the next generation and the generation after that going forward.
Mm. Yeah, and a lot of times, like you say, information, not knowing how to do that, and you may have a great idea, you may have a great gift and so forth, but going through the process, knowing how to make it all work together, sometimes it's frustrating. And then you kind of throw your dream out the window. And then years go by, and then you're looking at, man, that could have been me. That could have been me. But it sounds like
Right.
what you are trying to do is to captivate people that has a dream, that wants to do better, that wants to pass it on, and then help them step by step, to get that dream and to get that business off the ground, and really not trying to make a name for yourself, but grateful for where God has placed you all, that you're able to turn around and give back and help somebody else along the way. And that's very, very, very vital, especially when it comes to us as a
Absolutely.
people. I mean,
Exactly.
I don't want to be negative, but us as a people, sometimes I get mine and I go about my business instead of trying to network it, because there's a lot of smart people of color. There's a lot of smart people that has wealth of color, and networking a lot of times sometimes becomes a struggle, because now I think you're trying to outdo me, and I think we need to let that ego thing go down, and now we can
absolutely.
come together as a people and help each other out, because there's room at the top for everybody. Everybody can
It
get to the
is.
top, or go in that direction. And I think
Mhm.
but what you all are trying to do is just show people the steps that you all took to get there. And if anybody wants to really go that direction, then all they gotta do is just link up with you all, and you can help them along, because you've had the ups and downs, you've seen the ins and outs, and your team is built, man. You got a finance guy there, you got an attorney there, you got the IT man. That man, you guys got everything there that's needed. So, I wonder if people want to get in contact with you all. Do you have a website available, or that's in the process, or how would people know about the BT84 Group?
Well, right now, we have a marketing team, and we'll be doing marketing services also. And we in the process of actually building our brand and our imprint. For me personally, we've been talking about this. We're going to be more of a global company. Not only people that inside the United States need some money. There's people that comes across overseas into our country and invest in our company. We want to make sure we have access to those individuals also. So we're working on that concept, how we want to brand ourselves, and come up with an exact name for all at least our lending business starts off with. But in order to contact us, all three of us on Facebook, on various social media brands. But if anybody have any questions, just give me a call. My number is actually 805-588-0051. Call me, leave me a message, and I'll be more than happy to touch base with you, get the process started. We actually don't talk to at least one or two people already that heard about what we're doing, and we've been helping them out with some strategies going forward. Anyway, so we pretty much almost already started, but we'll be official in a few more months.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So, how long have you all been working on this? I know it didn't start yesterday. It didn't start 2 days ago. But how long has all this been in operation, Todd? And so you guys been, pulling strings, getting this together. How long has all this been going behind the scene?
Oh, it's been going on for probably almost a year. But we got incorporated. When did we get incorporated, Joe?
In May.
Yeah, May.
May
So
this year.
since May, we officially had our name. We was registered with the state, so we was a legal entity back in May. And so since May, of course, COVID hit and everything else. But we've been planning and strategizing and figured it out. We, going into a few different directions, but I think we finally figured out our lane, and I think it's gonna be a good lane.
Man, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. So let's take a commercial break, and then when we come back, I want to get into the part about, you talked about that you can finance companies up to $500 million. Okay, to the average person, they can't even phantom that number.
Right.
and then they look at you like, man, these boys balling, woo, you know. So when we come back, we want to talk about, you know, bringing that. How can that $500 million be real realistic to the average person? Because most people, they can't fathom $1 million. They can't, you know, fathom 100,000. So now you're gonna say 500 million? How many zeros that is? You know, so when we come back, we want to talk about that as well. Okay, so let's take a commercial break, and we will be right back.
Tonight's sponsor is a listening ear. Do you need guidance on how to gain a promotion on the job? Do you need an updated resume? Need training tools? A listening ear is here to serve the community by providing leadership training, work, and life guidance to individuals for personal and business progression. Contact Tanika Wilson, the Personal Leadership and Development Consultant, by calling 864-337-8160. Again, that number is 864-337-8160. Or email her at Rachelle82@gmail.com. That's RECHELE82@gmail.com. We're here as your listening ear. Please call us at 864-337-8160.
Hey, welcome back to the Empowerment Broadcast. This is Pastor Jackson, and there again we got the BT84 Group to talk to us about finances and so forth and so on. So for the break, we had a question. You know, how do you break that $500 million down? You know, so the average person can say, you know what, well, maybe I got an opportunity. You know, because if not, man, you know, people talking about $500 million, that's out of my league. You know, so how do you break that down to the average person that say, you know, I probably can be a part of that? How does that happen?
Most definitely. See, normally with traditional banks, they will only lend you up to $5 million at the most. Okay, and some of the main criteria is always going to be your credit score. All right. So if somebody needs a $500 from, or even up to $25,000, a credit score is one of the five main variables that will get you a certain amount of money. But if you own a business, you have assets. You know, whether you have inventory, receivables, equipment, you can borrow money off those vehicles. Okay, it's called alternative finance. All right, and basically the whole goal is to actually start your company. You know, most people start the company with a small loan. You got to grow your business. Once you get a certain point, you're gonna need more financing and marketing. Okay, and based on the amount of assets you have accumulated so far, the best thing you can do easy a line of credit. You know, depending on what the valuation of your company overall and those assets are. All right. And from there, that line of credit, it'll allow you to buy more equipment. If you want to grow your business, buy more, establish another business, or be able to actually buy another building to grow your company that way. Because here's the key to growing a business. You got to accumulate income producing assets. Okay. You see this jacket I'm wearing, the watch that people wear, the shoes, the fine clothes in your back is not an asset, an income producing asset. People get that confused. The service that you offer or any products that you actually serve, you're going to have to buy computers, business, furniture, and things of that nature to actually build that, develop revenue for your business. So those assets are worth something. And so based on all of that, being able to get to a certain point to raise money, we can look at your assets to see what the valuation of those things without trying to, you just get a straight loan. And you can be able, with credit score, it might bump you up to that $500 million level. It depends how fast you grow, your company, or how efficient you grow your company over time to get that $500 million.
Wow. Okay. So it's not really impossible, you know, for someone to have a business, get with you guys, and then have the finances to back it up. And because a lot of small business, that's the biggest thing, that startup money, money to buy products and so forth and so on. Because you can't wait until you get, you know, 1,000 orders in, and now I got to go buy supplies. You know, a time if you're in a T-shirt business, I'm gonna wait till I get 1,000 orders. Then I'm gonna find me some suppliers. I'm gonna find my ink. I'm gonna find my T-shirt and so forth. And by that time, your customer service is shot. So a lot of times, people need that startup money, or they need the money to so they can buy supplies with, so forth. So just knowing all these processes really helps a person have a good, solid foundation, and now they can feel more secure because there are advantages, aren't there? Advantages of having a small business or tax breaks and so forth. That a
Oh,
lot
big
of
time.
times that people just don't take advantage of.
There's a lot of advantages for minority
Yeah,
when it comes to from the minority, women owned, and people of color. You get that 8 to 10%, 12% on taxpayer money, federal money. I don't know about it. Larry knows about that, but I know with the state, you get 8 to 10% to maybe 12% if you're certified as a historically underutilized business. So that helps us if you can keep your credit range or that 620. So from a small business perspective, one of the main focuses need to be is that, you need to hover around that 590 to 620. That's going to help you get the money you need, the assets you need, or if you need the machine equipment, lease the equipment, whatever it takes. If you're right around that 620, you're good. So one of our training focuses probably should be on focusing, letting people know that, hey, your credit is important. You got to focus on your credit with your small business to get to the next level. That's what I did with my very first contract. I literally had to do what we're doing now. That's why I believe in it so tough, is that you had to get a middle person to help you. I had a contract that was bigger than the money or the assets that I had available. So I had to put my house up and find a middleman. And right now I'm learning to be the middleman. But I did learn that, you got to have a decent credit score. And like Larry said, you got to have some machinery or some assets to put up. And that's what helps you get and acquire all the monies you need. Just that decent credit score, 620, that's not really, game buster. That's just an average decent credit score. And have the will to do one machine at a time, one carpet machine at a time. Once you're building up your assets, one machine here, one machine there. So you really start, if you think from a small man perspective, I started from that small man perspective. So what we're doing right now, I'm gonna give 110% because I was that small man that needed that $10,000 loan way back. I was that guy. So what we're doing now, I believe it with every bone in my body. We just got to get everything in perspective in the right place, and it's gonna go.
yeah, because you
If
talked about go ahead, Joseph. Go ahead.
I'm gonna piggyback on one thing. If you need the money, because one of my friends just approached us about he thinking he needed about $10,000. I was working on some things anyway, and once I helped create his financial statement, look at it, he didn't need no money. All we need to do is help push his inventory forward because his profit margin is 47%. So he's making the money. His inventory is already turning every 7 days. Okay. So we talked to him, convinced him, hey, $10,000 is not the issue. What you need to focus on is turning over this inventory just a little bit faster to be able to actually generate more revenue, to be able to grow your company a little bit more efficiently. And so we're going to be partnering with him on creating a way to help him turn his inventory also. So it's just not about things. We see a need that it's not necessarily the money you need, but change your strategic planning or your operational planning or your financial planning. And we're able to identify that and go a different direction. We'll save you more money from getting along or getting financing going forward.
Well, because a lot of times people don't really focus on that credit score. Oh, I'm not going to worry about that. And, you go borrow this and you don't pay it back. You don't pay your bills on time. And then the credit score, is dropping. And then when we do realize it, now we in front of the person trying to get a loan. And now, well, sir, I'm sorry, your credit score is bad. But you know what? I can get you this car. And then they're going to jack the price up sky high. All because of being bad with my money, not discipline in areas. But when it comes to the business side, that's got to be some discipline that's put in place, because when you're dealing with large amount of money, you got to be disciplined in your personal life so that it'll spill over into your business life. So if a person is not really disciplined in their finances, how is that going to affect them in their business life?
Well, the thing is this here, they have to qualify with a business just as they will qualify for themselves.
Okay.
Just like you have a business, your personal credit score, your business can have a credit score as well.
Okay.
And you have to protect it just as you would do yourself. And the thing is, if you got, just subpar credit, then you're going to get subpar interest rates and things of that nature. Money is not going to be, it's going to be expensive for someone in that scenario. But there's always the opportunity to improve that before qualifying for that loan. And just like Joseph said before, let's look at the whole scenario first, because you may not need the money that you think you need. You possibly may have it already, that you might just have to make some adjustments in what you're doing. That's what we're able to point out and show them that, look, here, this is your opportunity right here. You don't want to straddle yourself with a lot of debt, especially if you coming into a new business. You hear people say, oh, debt is good, debt is good. They want to leverage everything. Well, that's a lot of people do leverage everything. But if you can get by without having to strap yourself with all this debt, then you can operate more efficiently and you can generate more income, by doing it that way.
Wow, that's good news to hear, because most people, they think about, I need money, but you just made a point that sometimes you got to look at the big picture, and maybe you got to refocus some things, and the money may not be what you need. You may need other things, other training and so forth to capitalize on what you already have. But not knowing that, information that's not available, is damaging. So because people don't have the information, sometimes they just sit on the curb and just say, well, one day. But knowing the process, knowing how to navigate to get things rolling, it does a couple of things. It boosts your eagerness to do better. Okay, it makes you feel better as a father, as a husband, as a provider. And you're just not looking for a 9-to-5 where somebody can, give me a check, so because at some point in time, though, you're not going to be able to work for a reason why, retirement, whatever, but you still need to keep living, and if you're seeking just to get that job, well, we know all jobs is not secure now. The only one secure is the one you create. And so all jobs is...
I was gonna say the biggest mistake people make is they understand when you start a business, you're not gonna make no money right away. Normally about 1, 2 or 3 years, you're not gonna make any money. Okay, so you got to plan for that. That's the first thing people don't plan for. Like the four of us are set, so we really don't need a salary right away. So we're gonna be fine anyway. That's the beauty of it. The second mistake people make is this. Once they get the revenue of sales and they pay off all their expenses, they think that net income is theirs. No, that's the company's money.
Put it back into the company.
Put your salary as part of your expenses. And then once you pay off your expenses, pay your taxes, what's left over is the company, and you actually put it back into the company. Okay, those two factors. Not understanding that, hey, it took Amazon 10 years to make a profit. Okay. You might not be making any money right away, so plan for that. Save enough money to make sure you can cover yourself for at least a year or two. All right. The second thing, make sure pay yourself a small salary starting off. Put it as part of your expenses under your profit and loss statement. Do not think that after you pay everything off and you pay your taxes, that income is your money. That's the company money. You do those two things, you're gonna start on the right foot immediately going forward.
Wow. So how important is it is to keep my business and my personal money separated?
It's very important, okay, because it depends how you structure, okay? Some people are actually a sole proprietorship, meaning that really you can operate your business as your personal account. Okay, that's one thing about what sole proprietorship can set up with. And Todd can contest to this. The problem with that, if you are sole proprietorship, I come in your business and I slip and break my leg. Not only I can come out to your business assets, I can come out to your personal assets. okay? So you need to start out at least an LLC, where it will protect you if someone should be getting injured on your premises. It will protect you from your personal assets, okay? So basically what you're gonna need to do is get with a person like myself, a finance person. You're gonna need a CPA, and a tax person also, to make sure they look at your budget to see how much money you guys are gonna need to pay yourself first. That's gonna be the first step, okay? Once you analyze that step, go right ahead, design a program for yourself to pay yourself accordingly to the plan. But at the same time, do not touch the net income of the company. And just put it back in retained earnings in your balance sheet and keep growing your company that way.
Okay, great. So is it also important to have a business plan that incorporates the money, the energy, the time, the resources, and so if someone has just an idea, it's more than just having an idea, isn't it? Is it more involved than just I got an idea of creating T-shirts? Is it more to it than that, or is just my idea is just going to make it work for me?
There's three things I tell my students you're gonna start a business. You're gonna need a lawyer, you're gonna need a CPA or accountant, and you're gonna need Jesus, okay? All right, you're gonna qualify which three of those are the most important, but those are the three things you're gonna need, either Jesus or wherever your religious affiliation with. Because it takes a lot of prayer and praying to get you to this stuff. You're gonna have some ups and downs, okay? You need to come up with a strategic plan, okay? You can get with us, we can definitely help you guys out with that aspect of it. Once we come with a strategic plan, an operation plan, and build a financial plan from there, and then come with a marketing plan, we can help with all of that also. Then you set to go, all right? So when you come up with this ideal, secure a lawyer, secure an accountant, and then you can start working. You're gonna need those two anyway. And then start working on your strategy, your operations, your whole profile of your company, and how you're going to generate this, operate your company to generate this revenue going forward. So there's a process you gotta follow.
Yeah. So Larry, you are there in the IT side, right? So how important is having IT knowledge when it comes to the backside of a business?
Well, that's a good question. Actually, every company operating out there now is an IT company. Is so ingrained into the infrastructure of their business. So it is very important that technology is going to play a role in whatever size company that you have. So is IT important to it? Sure. Not just say it's an IT company, but a traditional business is going to be dependent on IT in the way it grows, in the way it moves is critical. You got to be caught up with the latest technology in order to process whatever you're doing these days. It's very critical. But to piggyback kind of like what Joe was saying, it's things you do at the very beginning that's going to be paramount if this business or company, whatever you looking to do, become a success. Statistically, all startup companies, not all startup companies, but they say a startup company will fail within the first 2 years. So financial planning is very critical in that, and putting the right people in place from the beginning can help ensure your process, your success. If you don't do that, you're doomed to fail. You're gonna waste your time, you're gonna waste your money, So putting those particular things in place, like he mentioned, would definitely get you off to a good start.
Okay. And it's also important to have an attorney somewhere that you can put your hands on and that know the legal side, because there's a lot of legal stuff and terminology, especially if you're dealing with contracts, right? And it seemed like y'all attorneys write stuff that the average person can't comprehend. It takes us 4 or 5 pages for you to say, "Don't sign here." You know what I mean? So it takes it's an attorney is needed somewhere in the bunch, right? When you say that, Todd.
Most definitely. They always say, make sure you read the fine print. However, there's a lot of handshake agreements and agreements that's not even written down on paper at all. So
Right.
to me, if it's not written down, it didn't happen. So you got to protect yourself in writing. You know, law, they look at the four corners of the doctrine. You know, they look at what's on paper. So it's very important that you know, your contract be tight, you know, with all the protections in there necessary to help all parties involved. And you got to ink it up. You got to ink it up, because if it didn't, you know, if you didn't write it, it didn't happen. You know, I've seen a bunch of people say one thing when they make that money, a whole nother thing happens. You know, so
Especially in the Black community. Yep.
right. So you gotta have it down on paper. So it's very important to have a lawyer. I would say even get your own lawyer. You know, sometimes get a separate lawyer, so you can have somebody to check over, you know, each other. Because sometimes, you know, if you use one lawyer, you know, you might want to get another one. So yes, it's very important to have a lawyer. Very.
Yeah. Does it matter what type of lawyer? Because if you say I want to go see a doctor, I mean, there's so many different areas. So now when it comes to my business, and do I need a business attorney? Do I need an attorney that specializes in what I'm looking for to look over my contracts and so forth? Or
most definitely, most business, any type of business lawyer is a contract lawyer.
Okay.
So anybody that can deal with contracts, any lawyer that deals with contracts, that's what you need.
Okay. So Marcus, your entity or your business is into what, the sanitation, cleaning for?
Actually, it's janitorial. It's pretty much all commercial. We also are we're in the service sector, so it was easy to add courier service to it, because once the pandemic started, you know, I had to, of course, use my brain to keep up. You got to adjust whenever that money changes. So we added a courier service. And of course, everyone needs delivery. So that took off, and that's sort of been sufficing me through the pandemic, where I hadn't really had to really worry about where my income's gonna come from, because I gladly sowed my seed correctly. With that said, I'm in the service sector, and with janitorial and with delivery, it's pretty much, you learn the process, you refine the process, and just what Larry said, Tara said, if it's not in writing, it's not a contract.
Wow.
So I've been able to do a lot of commercial, and it's sufficed for me thus far. And I want to just trade that off and sort of get some other people involved in the aspect of what I do, because with IT, you have to have IT, you have to have the operations, you have to have the lawyer. So I just think, just like we've all been saying, is we put our heads together, and each one of us shine in our area of expertise, and this should go out without a hitch.
Right, man. That's great, because, you know, I'm really looking forward, man, to April 1st, to you guys' launch date, and really see the benefits of someone, you know, benefiting from what you all putting together. Somebody right now, generation is going to change because they're going to come in contact with you guys, you know, and it's just amazing how life will change, because you four kind of got together, bump your heads together, and now want to turn around and give back. That's amazing, man, because everybody's not doing that. Everybody is not trying to pull their resources together, help each other out, and move forward. You know, some, I got mine, get your own. I went to school and got mine, get your own. But to me, that's very selfish, because had not an opportunity open for you, you wouldn't have had what you have. And so now that God has put us in position to be able to give back, then I think that's part of our responsibility, you know, to be able to give back to someone that doesn't have it, or that needs a life change, just like, you know, we was for the opportunity as well. So I'm looking forward to you guys, April 1st launch date, man. I'm gonna be pushing and rooting for you. You know, all I can do for you, man, to help you guys out, give you more exposure, you know, to be on the front line with you all. Then I'm going to do all I can, because I want to be a part of what you guys doing too. Because, you know, giving back to a community, giving back to a person, it changes lives around. You actually will give somebody hope that think, man, it's too late for me, or I don't have the finances, I don't have the resources. But what you all are doing, man, is taking your knowledge and giving it back to someone. But not only that, but you're taking them by the hand and leading them along the way. And I'm glad that I got 4 guys that's on my side now. Whew. You know, so I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful
Absolutely.
because, you know, just trying to do it all by yourself, you know, it can get overwhelming. It can get overwhelming,
Very much so.
discouraging. It can bring a lot of stress and pressure inside your home. A lot of
Mhm.
stuff can happen, you know, but when you 4 kind of come on the scene, it kind of ease that process, you know, and now we can make this thing happen. And now you're not looking for a 9 to 5. You are creating an opportunity now where you can create jobs, you know, for
Well, that's
years.
the whole goal that we would like to do. The model we would like to follow is you can take someone from being an employee to making them self-employed.
Yeah.
As being self-employed, they now became a business owner.
Hmm.
And a successful business owner will go to the next level of becoming an investor. You know, so once you get at that level, you start to generate your the wealth that we talked about earlier, generational wealth, you know, comes through being an investor. And there's a path to get there. You know, it's not overnight. You know, business is not easy. If it was, everyone would be out there doing it. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. And if you got employees and things, you have to take care of them sometime before you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you don't take care of your employee, they ain't coming back. Now you back at square one. So that means sometimes you may get the short end of the stick in order for the business to survive.
Right.
So that's where your discipline come in place. You know, so if you want it, you can have it, but it's a process you must follow, and you have to stick to that process.
Absolutely.
It's not.
Go ahead, Joe.
Todd.
Well,
It's not.
we didn't teach this. They did teach us this, well, they taught us shop back in the day and home ec and all these different
Right.
trades.
Yeah.
They don't teach that now. So all
Yeah.
I mean, the next lawyer, the next accountant, the next is just an assembly line. You know, once
Mhm.
somebody die, you graduate school and you replace that person.
Yes.
They don't teach us about business. I had no idea about business. I had to learn the hard way, you know, just like all of us had. So
Mhm.
hopefully we can show somebody and teach somebody that it can be done and how it's done. And we can, you know, take them by the hand and you know, and show them the way. Because they don't teach us this in school. They don't want us to learn.
They
They
don't.
want us to get high grades so we can go work for somebody.
Mm.
Top of the
Yes.
class so you can go work for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Right. I was going to say, piggyback what Larry said and what Todd saying, it's not easy, guys. By no means in a measure, okay? One of the signs I always give my students after class, we talk about, you know, entrepreneurship, how it works. I always tell them, do me a favor. Go take a picture, look a picture of Jerry Jones, Mark Cuban out here in Dallas, and Oprah Winfrey. Look at their eyes. Those guys are billionaires. They get 3 hours of sleep a day. Okay, don't think that they making all this money and they sitting back. They can't, because the more you grow as an organization, the more prone you're gonna be for lawsuits. So you gotta be on top of your game. You just can't trust Marcus to do your operation, Larry do your IT, Todd being your legal guy, me being your finance guy. We're gonna do our jobs, but you have to understand, you're in charge of this. At the end of the day, you gotta put the effort in to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have that ingredient, and perfect planning, proper planning, I should say, you'll be successful like the 4 of us have been so far.
Mhm.
I should say the 5 of us, because Pastor Jackson, like he ain't skinny either. Like he's struggling either. So let me say the 5 of us.
That make it easier to sow that seed.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because I'm a firm believer. I know, man, giving works. I know sowing works. I know giving back works. I am the product of givers, and I know my life now. My wife and I are now financially. You know, we're not struggling. You know, thank God we're not. You know, and we're doing the right thing with our finances and so forth, and you know, putting things in place like you're supposed to. You know, making a good decision. Hadn't always done that. You know, early on in life, made some bad financial decisions. But you know, the light bulb went off. Oh, can't do that again. Oh, can't do that again. And you learn. You know, but thank God, you know, that we aren't struggling and that we are doing well. But I don't want to just keep it with me. I want to change somebody's life around. You know, I want to be able to change the individual life because there's I found this out. There's some good people that's trying to do the best they can, but they just struggling. They don't have a direction, but they still good people, and they just need someone to show them the pathway. But if everybody's in the same boat going downward, then nobody can help nobody, because I think somebody said earlier, we weren't taught this in school, and a lot of our parents, unfortunately, did not have the knowledge. Okay,
Correct.
and so now we are left with, okay, now what are we gonna do with it? So now I think when the knowledge is available, we gotta grab it, dissect it, and then pass it on. So now our children, can benefit from what we are doing now. Because a lot of times the children benefit from the bad mistakes we make. They paying for our bills. Because everybody at the funeral ain't crying because you gone. They crying because you left all your bills behind.
Right.
Wake him up. So I think we got to make sure that we passing on the right thing. So generational wealth. Now I can be at the funeral now. Dad, I sure thank you. Appreciate your dad. You know what I'm saying? It makes the transition a whole lot better versus just sitting there crying because now Dad had just enough money to put him in the ground.
Yeah.
Or starting a GoFundMe page to bury somebody.
Right.
Don't start.
That's why it's critical for.
Why it's critical.
Yeah, it's critical for those that's out there just starting a business, currently got a business, whatever, is to try to seek a mentor. There are people out there that will walk with you and help you. Mentorship is so critical in business right now. And you can learn from these guys, because they're going to teach you their mistakes so you don't make that. They can share that with you. So if you got a mentor out there, I always tell people like this, you can't be the smartest person in the room. You can't learn from nobody, So seek out people that can teach you something, good habits, good ways, but not teach you how to just go out there and get it. They got to teach you the right way. Right. So that's why it's imperative, if you can find a mentor that's working in your field or whatever like that, it ain't necessarily got to be in the same business field, just somebody of good ethics, man, that's going to show you, hey, this is what I learned. Let me show you how to do this here. And if you can do that, you off to a good start already. You out the box and you done left your competitors back. They hadn't even started, and it's like Todd was saying, I didn't know business. I knew I wanted something different. That I didn't know, and when I walked away from my job, my coworker was telling me, you must be crazy to walk away from this job. No, I'm not crazy. I want something different, and I was making good money. I won't scream about that, but I wanted my own, in order to go out there and get my own, then I had to believe in myself.
Yes.
If you believe in yourself, is the first thing. You got to believe that you can do it. And once you believe you can do it, and you saddle that with a mentor who's willing to teach you, and there's a lot of people out there willing to show people what they do or how to do it, because that way they're bragging on themselves without really being boastful, So I'm going to show you, now my action is speaking instead of my words. That'll help us go a long way.
Absolutely. Hey guys, listen, I thank you for joining me tonight on the broadcast. And listen, we're going to get you back on the show at a later date, so we can see the progress that you all are making, man, the impact you're making in people's lives. And so don't think that this is going to be your first time, or your last time, but you will come back again. If I got to pencil you in and move you up on the ladder a little bit to get you back on the show. And also, we can bring you back on, man, and just talk about, the process, what you're doing, where you are, who you're helping, things of that nature. Because I think showing people, man, results of what you're doing inspires people. Because we can sit here and talk a lot of noise. But now we got people that say, you know what? The BT84 Group got my attention, changed my life around, and now I am the result of what they did. And so just, having stories like that, man, is powerful. So I'm going to kind of keep my eye on you guys, man, and walk with you and encourage you and talk with you, so that, I want to be a part of what you're doing. So I'm gonna get you back on the show at a later date, but thank you all, man, for coming. Thank you for being on the show tonight, and as always, what you brought tonight, it's changing somebody, it is inspiring somebody, and it's helping that person say, maybe there is a chance for me. Maybe it's not too late. And so therefore we'll get people, man, that's going to link with you and work with you. And so thank you again, man, for being on the broadcast with tonight. And listen, always, you always got a spot on Pastor Jackson Empowerment Broadcast. Always, all right, always. So thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it, Pastor. Love you guys.
Appreciate it.
Man, love you guys.
Yeah.
All right.
So thank you
man.
very much. And so this is Pastor Jackson with the Empowerment Broadcast. Until next time, you all take care. God bless.